Oh,
Hello,
it
guys.
gets
Since
really
you guys
stupid.
came, we are live already because you guys came early. So let's start early. So,
Perfect. Okay.
how is everything
Hello,
going?
Engin.
Hello, Ryan.
Again, good to see you.
And Auden, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm very, very good.
That's good. That's good. Do you know who is gonna join us as the third person? I
Not
asked,
sure.
No,
I asked, I asked Hermes. Hermes said he's gonna go out eat, and then I asked Ivan Matushenko. He said he would love to, but he can. Third person I asked was Mindaugas, and he accepted about
Perfect.
20 minutes ago.
Very
nice.
nice.
Yeah. So let's see. Let me share these links, and then we start. And so, Alan, how is everything? How are trainings going?
Everything is going incredible for me. Really, really good. I just got finished a 3-day fast actually, so I'm cutting down a little bit, trying to get in slightly better shape. And yeah, everything's going
What
very,
are
very
you
good.
now?
I'm like just under 105 kilo. Just under.
Say again, sorry.
Just under 105 kilo, like 104,
Oh, so
103.
you are about 208 or something, or?
Yeah, yeah.
So over there, you are more familiar with the pound or kilogram, or you say kilo because for me to understand.
I'm very familiar with both just because arm
Okay.
wrestling normally runs off kilo, but we use
Okay.
pounds mostly.
Yeah. Okay.
We're spot
And
on. We're the same weight, Auden, exactly. I'm 104 at the moment
Wait,
as well.
I thought you were 86 kilo.
Yeah, yeah. I was waiting for that one. Yeah. Thankfully, now the carbs are back.
Auden
Yeah,
already started. Auden started. Okay. Let's just discuss about arm wrestling. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I think Mindaugas soon will join, and then we can talk. Did you guys see the replacement? Auden, did you see?
What replacement?
Oh, the Jerry, because of some personal things, stuff, he won't be able to pull, and we had a few options. One was just tell Artem, hey, come as a special guest, or stay at home. Stay at home was the like almost not in the any consideration because we got visa for him, and it was
Yeah.
one entry visa. And if he didn't use the visa, like when he goes next time, they would say like, you got the visa, you didn't even you go there. You know why? I mean, why do you even ask visa? So what happened is that we talk with you know that many people, you know, at their level there are not so many arm wrestlers to pull against, and many of them cannot get visa. Georgi Tsvetkov already pulled him, and they could pull a revenge match, but Georgi, I think, is gonna have surgery with left arm.
Yeah.
He tore his bicep, and then Michael Todd is pulling Zarano. Dave Chaffee is down to 115. Your father is pulling left arm, and right arm is gonna pull Vitali. And so there were not many options. So we said with Alex Kurdecha with right arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
Very good.
Alex wants to pull first. He wants to pull your father. He says like that is the main target. It's more important. So
Yeah.
I think like I need to pull like a few matches in between. He said that like he wants to. I understand, as far as I understand, it is more important for Alex to pull your father.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
just the rankings on right and left. I mean, his left is a lot higher. More fight.
yeah. His left looks more competitive, even though he had some defeats recently. I think one only, Darik, and the other one wasn't recent, almost 1.5 years ago against Morozov. It was a close match. Yeah. And
Very
how do
good
you
match.
see how? Okay, we don't need to wait for Mindaugas to talk about the matches. Whenever he joins, he joins. Okay, what do you think? Since we talk about that, what do you think about this match? Left arm, Kurdecha, your father. How do you see? I follow your predictions are logical. I agree, majority of them. But how do you see this match?
You know, it's a very interesting match to me because I'm a huge fan of Alex Kurdecha. I think he's great. I think he has done awesome things in the sport, and he's just so big. He's very intimidating. It looks very impressive when he pulls.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that throws me off about this match is I know my dad's level all the time. I know it all the time. I pull with him probably more than anyone else in the world. So I
Mm-hmm.
always kind of know where he's at. And last time Alex Kurdecha came up and pulled my dad, yes,
Mm-hmm.
while I was practice table, Alex came to like be strong and kind of bully him around a bit. This was right after Levon too. And let me tell you, I was beating my dad at that point. Like
Oh, okay, okay.
he
So
was
what you are saying that Devon focused Levan, and then as soon as the competition
nah,
ended, physically,
nah,
mentally, spiritually, he was down. Yeah. Okay.
totally. Went and lived at his mom's house for like a month, just like farming and eating like stew all day. And
Uh-huh.
got
Uh-huh.
down to like 230 pounds and then pulled Kurdecha and was still beating him left on the practice table.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Let me
So
tell
you
you,
are, you
if
are
he,
saying that that practice didn't really mean anything.
well, no, it didn't. But Alex at that point was pretty good still. He was prepping for a match. And my dad was like the worst form he could ever be. So
Yeah.
now when they're both prepping for a match and he's now
Mhm.
like 70 pounds heavier than when they last pulled, I got a feeling it's gonna be a decisive victory.
So it will be like it will control right from the beginning to the end.
Right from the beginning. I think round one will be very interesting. Alex Kurdecha has a bunch of options. He can come forward and flop if he needs to, but I think right now I don't know if people understand how good my dad is. He
Can I
is
ask you something? Because I
leveling
don't
up.
know the backstory. Like what happened? How come your father lost in that? What was it in? Where was it in Virginia? Like how did this happen? Like there must be something, but I don't know the story. The reason I'm asking because I want to know from you. I want to hear.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll explain it. So the guy who beat him, Logan Bittinger, he is really good. He is a really good
Hmm.
arm wrestler, but I mean, normally he would not win. He's not quite that high yet. But how it went is my dad wanted to go all the way up A side until he got to the last guy on A side, then dropped to him. So he got all the way up A side, got to Logan, and dropped and cleaned up the B side and came back. But his intention was to just kind of catch him low and play around. But Logan
Oh,
was
okay.
just
So
got
you are
faster.
saying that if there was one more ready go, that wouldn't happen.
No. If he was
Oh,
really
okay.
trying to
Okay.
do it,
Okay.
no.
Because I thought that, maybe when he arrived there, he pulled some practice matches or something. And I thought that there was the reason. So you are saying that he was fresh, but he just underestimated him?
Well, he did pull a lot. He did do a lot of after pulls, a lot of
No,
pulls
no, no,
during the
no.
tournament.
Before the event, he was fresh.
Before. No,
Oh,
no, he
okay.
was
Because you
prepping
said
for, and
after
he pulled
pulls,
really
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, there was pulls all the way through the day. He was always in the table, but it was really he just surprised him. He got the win on him, but he was just my dad was going to try to play, and he tried to play a little bit too much, and he made him pay for it.
Okay, okay, I understand. Okay, so this
I,
is
I,
the backstory of it that which I didn't know, like I was curious
Yeah.
about. And Ryan, how do you see this match? Like
yeah, well,
Auden says that he's gonna destroy him. I mean, not
talking about.
destroy him, but he said that he's gonna like win. Like
Well,
without
I
any
think
doubts.
I think Devon, from what I've observed and experienced, is one of the guys who feels, or one of the maybe the most drastic difference between practice pulling or let's say casual tournament pulling and
Hmm.
when it matters. Uh, Devon losing the other day on the left, you could see. I think there was a bit of a sneaky elbow foul drag off the back as well. Like I know when I've pulled with Devon, he feels like an elastic band to me. I know he could stonewall me at center if he wanted to, but he's always giving people that room. I remember Devon once shared with me to win as gloriously as you can, and I think Devon loves to do that, make it theatrical, and got caught napping and elbow foul got away. So I even think that's the same with Kurdecha. Like when Devon steps up to Kurdecha, it's a very different experience compared to what Kurdecha had when they did the practice pull. So of all people, Devon is the person in the world who most I feel changes when you get him in a genuine ready go compared to anyone else in the world. Everyone else kind of shows you their cards. Devon, it's very different. I'd love to someday just say to Devon in training, show me what it's like when you actually care about center. Like, I'm sure it's horrible. And Auden's nodding a
It's
lot.
very
Yes.
horrible. It is terrible. Yeah, when he gets close to matches, he does that. Because normally in practice he says whatever, but when he gets close and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to be a little bit mean now," then you know you're in for
Then
quite
it's
a
real
tough fight.
business starting to feel your wrist buckle. So when I look at this match, Kurdecha and Devon, I like to look at matches from the biomechanical sort of standpoint. And Kurdecha is in fact, I think, the biggest arm wrestler in the world. He's not the tallest, but when you consider the size of his frame, the width of his shoulders, the depth of his chest, he's an enormous, enormous guy. And he certainly has a big wrist and a big hand as well. So lever length, I believe, Kurdecha, I would assume, is right there with Devon, very similar length lever. So it's going to be a very hard fought first round where hand control, pronation, static pronation is going to be really instrumental on who gets to win center. I think that it's always fascinating because I always think of Devon's right arm and the way he developed that with the giant pumpkin theory for so long. And in his left arm, as he was his party arm for so long, but it seems like it's not that far behind his right.
Right.
Practicality.
Whenever Levan and Devon was gonna pull in Istanbul, we had an outside interview with them. You know, they were sitting by a bench, you know, on a table. And when Devon was doing this, somehow his left bicep looked, to me at least, hello Mindaugas, hello the God.
Hello guys, I'm a bit late. Sorry about that.
No, you are not late. We started a little bit. Oh yeah, you are 4 minutes late. Yeah.
Yes,
so we will have to cut some of your next, you know.
Anyways, can you hear me well? And
yeah, do you hear us?
I can hear you as well.
Oh, okay. So
let me hear some of Auden.
Yeah.
How's it going, Mindaugas? How's it going? Good to see you.
Yeah. Oh, that's
you stay away from me. Too scary. Mindaugas.
Anyways, so
Auden knows. Ryan doesn't know yet, but Auden knows.
Auden, so this is what I was saying, that in April 2024, when they were gonna pull, somehow compared to before, his left arm started to look big to me. I don't exactly know what the reason was. It was he already started training or not, but
I can explain.
Okay.
Yeah. So why his left arm looks bigger? It's because his bicep isn't torn. It's the full bicep. So if you look at it, it looks much healthier, much more full. At that point, he wasn't training his left, but after he pulled that match, he's been training it since.
I've seen in the past that Devon's right arm is longer. Like my right arm is longer. Is that still the case, or is the left arm back?
Still the case, and it's actually even scarier than just the arm length. His hand on his right has changed its anatomy. It's like even more built for arm wrestling now. The thumb is thicker. Like everything is just bigger. It's way bigger.
So Engin, summarizing my sort of position on this match, I think it's going to be a very hard fought battle at center, at the top of the table at first. I kind of read Devon to have more stiff and rigid pronation than Alex. If I'm going to give Alex the nod in anything, I think that he might have more bicep strength and maybe some more muscular strength in that rise at the center. But I expect Alex's wrist to go. I expect him to commit shoulder pretty early, and he might sneak a couple of flop press pins in. But if he loses his wrist and doesn't win center, I think it's going to be a real bad day for him. But I see Devon as the favorite, but Alex certainly with some knockout punches there if he gets them in.
Okay, so the key with having chance to beat Devon also includes to have the flop press, and after I saw Morozov versus Alex Kurdecha left arm, I saw that Alex has that, but to make it effective, you really need to bring Devon at least halfway to your winning side. Then the one round at the beginning, Corey was able to do that. And so he has to bring him to depth here, and then there is a risk, for Devon. But anything at the center, if the match stops, or a little bit this way even, like if it is not like shoulder pressure position, then it will be very, very hard. It will be very, very hard. And Mindaugas, how do you see this match?
Yeah, last video of Alex, which I saw, was on Raimond's Coach Ray channel, and Alex was really breathing heavily. So I'm assuming that he's getting big and strong these days, which might help him. But again, Devon is just a bit special. Those jointy.
Listen, but they both breathe heavy. So not only Alex. So they both will be very, very strong on that day.
And yeah, on top of that, Devon has some. I think he has more joint strength, more tendon strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Devon for a long time he kept saying that he doesn't train his left. But you know, if you keep practicing on the table every week for years, it's not. I don't think you can call it not training your left. So so I think Devon is in a good shape, and I have to give advantage to Devon. Yeah.
Okay. So how big? Like
99%.
How much?
99%.
Oh, okay.
Good choice.
There we go.
Tyler Brooks Armwrestling says that can't wait for Chicago. See you guys up there. Thank you, Skyler. Thank you, my friend.
What did our guys think? What is the percentage? Ryan, what are you saying?
For me, I'm like a 70% Devon. I'm not 99. But 70.
I'm 99.
Okay, Auden is also 99.
Yeah. Neil Pickup is in the chat. He says the GOAT is in the house.
Who is that guy?
Who is that guy? Come on, you are too humble. You are too humble.
Must be Auden.
Dig me, yeah. Thank you.
You can have it. Mindaugas.
Yeah, you are too humble. Yeah.
No, we have to remember that it's still a joke, right?
Listen, when you repeat something
so
many times, it becomes like, you know, was it joke or real, or like at least you look like a second GOAT after John Brzezinski, you know. You know, you look that way, you know. To me, at least, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm thinking that way. Then I remember our match, and then I'm like, oh no, you know. Anyway, so okay. So Minde, let's talk about you a little bit, since you are our guest. And so how is everything going? You said that you had some cold or illness or something.
Yeah, but it's in the past. It's in the past. I told myself that I'll never get sick again. So I'm
yeah? Okay.
And yeah, today in the morning I was just showering and I was looking at my biceps and felt strong somehow.
Yeah, you're doing that thing, didn't they?
Yeah, you owe your power, your everything to your bicep, right? That's your strongest point.
Yeah, that's the main weapon.
Yeah. That every time I see that, I get scared. Okay, let's talk about that. I'm very curious about your house about Artur Makarov versus Daniel Prokopic.
Yeah, after that second round when Daniel pinned him,
you said it was over.
I thought that Daniel will really take it. And yeah, the first round when Daniel was trying the top roll, I also knew that it wouldn't really work. That's not. But yeah, Daniel, it's a pity. I think he could really win it.
Mindaugas, can I interrupt you? When they say after second round, maybe you watch my video or not. Christo told me, oh, Engin, Daniel has incredible endurance. I said yes, but I said, listen, there are different type of endurances, and Artur Makarov, within the match, he sometimes gets tired. But between the rounds, when he goes to corner, you recover this much, he recovers this much. Do you remember in Antalya, you beat him in final, and then he just come back and beat you in the second final?
And even during my match with him, last year with Makarov, I kind of also felt like the whole time I felt like he's gonna get tired.
Round one, you were here, and he fouled intentionally. And then step out, you guys went to a corner, 30 seconds later you come, he beat you, and then he beat you for total 4 times.
Even in the next rounds, he beat me, but then I thought, okay, I still, stopped him for a few seconds, and I thought that alone should somehow make him tired. But no, not really. Like his endurance was impressive.
Just beat him as quick as possible. He recovers very, very quick, you know. What did you think about that match, Auden?
I had similar thoughts. I thought after round 2 it was going to start turning around, but yeah, Makarov he's such a freak. That guy is such a freak. He always impresses me. And every time I thought you were going to get him in Mindaugas. I thought Daniel was going to get him, and every time he surprises me.
It really changed in that match when Daniel got the riser out. The first round he didn't pull with a riser, and then
he was going outside.
Yeah,
round 1.
Yeah, then as soon as the riser came out, yeah, it looked like a different Daniel. But credit to Makarov, like you said, and having the ability to refresh between rounds is a unique strategy. It comes with a unique strategy, and he held in an offensive position with Daniel millimeters above the pad for a long time without his pronation being rolled back over. So it was very, very impressive and deserved win on the day. But yeah, good stuff all around.
I could really not understand why did Daniel start kind of dragging a little bit, going backwards, like after getting that nice stop in the center. Because I think in the last 4 rounds, he was really like the initiation was fine. He was in the front on the edge of the pad. And Makarov, I know, like he somehow struggles if you know, he's good on his side, but if you hold him in the center, he's kind of, he doesn't feel that comfortable. So I didn't understand why did Daniel start going backwards. Maybe just the power was overwhelming, but it almost I think like if he just stayed inside, he might be able to survive.
I think he was trying to go inside, but I think Arthur, unlike the deep hook match, later rounds he started using like more like dragging, and then just he was opening. You know, I think he was not really opening, but like whenever you have the pressure here, even you don't like how to say it is the farthest place. You know, farthest place. If Arthur was putting pressure on Daniel's bicep, my opinion, he would have won. But what he did was dragging, and you know when Arthur curls his wrist, bends his wrist, his hand gets here even like bigger, the same like Oleg Zov. And in hook, and especially if he's just dragging you like this with the pronator and the brachyradialis like this, I think there is so much pressure is coming to your hand. Did you feel anything? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying.
Okay, you go. Right.
No. You go.
Okay, then I will go. So I was just saying that, you know, because of that, Makarov's ability to really also pull back, and you know, he really has a lot of back pressure. Because of that, it's a good idea to stay in front, you know, because you can avoid some of that pressure backwards.
No, I understand, but then probably he was opening his bicep.
Maybe
you know, when you come forward, you can do like this, but then your bicep. So you just try to protect. Do you realize that the last round you finished like this? So I mean, like I think like he was not recovering as fast as Arthur. That's the only thing I understand. But for sure, I know Arthur between the rounds recovers really quick. Something is with him. I don't know what it is, but probably genetic is like that way. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so.
Yeah, we should probably not say genetics because, of course, the guy is working a lot and training hard for many years. But yeah.
But some people have really like no matter how hard you do, like some people will always have better marathon than you do. Like those people are the people who are genetically gifted for marathon. Some are for the everyone can switch. You can make your explosiveness more or endurance more. But some people, no matter how hard you train, you will not have that endurance, or you will not have that explosiveness. Some things are really special with certain people. Like Auden's father had incredible endurance, you know, like incredible endurance. He could just pull forever. I think one time Neil Pickup said in 2007 in Arm Wars, just he pulled everyone like hours and hours, and it was just like you can't really have that. You can't. I mean, you understand?
You see, if it was genetics, then Auden would also have the same ability. But
listen, it doesn't have to have the same identical genetic of the father, you know.
Well, and also, the interesting thing with the genetics about him is we have actually gotten our genetics tested, and we can see all the mutations. And while there is some, it's nothing exceptional. I think the reason he can do it is because of how hard he's trained, and he's trained more than almost anyone on the planet. And an interesting thing here, if you look at my brother and I, we're very similar. I have trained for arm wrestling. He has not. I can pull for 12 hours every day over and over and over again and be okay. He cannot do that. And that's because of the time I put in. I think with my dad, it's just that leveled up to 30 years training every day. I think it's you make adaptations when you go that long. And I'm sure there is genetic components, but I would be very hesitant to blame it all on that.
I've always thought that Devon in particular, and any arm wrestler, what is often seen as endurance, and I'm not denying the existence of endurance, but what is seen as endurance is often just really efficient positional play combined with strength in that hard counter, whatever that little hard counter is, pronation, rise, whatever. Strength there, win a moment, and then be a master of relaxing again once you've won that. And good positional play. And Devon does that really, really well.
Yeah.
But if you measure Devon's how much time he could just contract at max effort, it might not be that huge amount of time. Like any human's going to gas out at around 10 seconds of max effort.
But Ryan, this is what I try to say. Also, I want to tell you, Auden, when you have good genetics, it doesn't mean that you don't have to train. It means that when you train, your capacity is higher than other people. Do you understand? No matter how hard you train, somebody may have a better, I don't know how to say, like capacity than you do. Like no matter how hard. Like for me, I never ever train speed, never. But like I don't even do any ready go training at the training, not at all. But whenever I go to the world championship or something, I still move quick. Do you understand? But some people, no matter how hard they try, they just can't be quick. They train speed, they are still slow. Of course, there is a lot of other factors, but anyway. So let's go to the Chicago card. Today we announced a match, Arsen Kacharian, and I'm sure that you all are very familiar with this guy, and he did very well at the AMC event, and I think he took second place to Sasho in 2022, probably Europeans or something. Anyway, so how do you guys see this match, Paul versus Arsen Kacharian? Let's start with you, Mindaugas. You saw him, right? You saw him in Arlington. He pulled against Andrei Sharkovich. Yeah.
Right. And I also remember his match with my good friend Bogdan Stoica, where Bogdan did pretty well against him. But yeah, Arsen did he did okay versus Andrei Sharkovich. I'm trying to think about his style a bit, because Paul did so well this last event. I can see that, beating Samushia at this stage, at this point, when he's really ready, is crazy. It's
I think Samushia should stick to 85 kilo. With 89 kilo body weight, you shouldn't pull 95. It's not excuse. You shouldn't take the match. But seriously, if you are pulling at this level, you really need to, reach that thing, And okay, how do you see this match?
Yeah, so normally, I guess, yes, it's fair enough to say that Samushia should stick to 85, but also I know that Samushia is punching way above his weight class. So I can really understand how strong is Paul now. I'm going to say that Paul must be winning this one, because his shape, he really just surprised me so much. I didn't expect it at all.
You didn't expect? I expected for sure. I didn't say I expected Paul to win. Samushia, before East versus West, was European, world, and Zloty champion. Samushia was right there already. Of course, he gained some weight and he progressed. But Paul, in my opinion, was still new to the sport when the East versus West events came. Like, we didn't even think that he was. I mean, that is why he was 100 kilo and Samushia was 87 kilo when I said this match. Do you understand? Because I thought that then it was close match, 3-2. And so since then, his performance against Rustam and Sasho and the guys that he beat, it just shows that he progressed a lot. He progressed for sure more than David Samushia in last 3 years. Yeah.
But also that progress is not something given. If you sometimes if you are new and then 5 years are passing by, so you would expect a person to get stronger, but they don't always. Not everyone gets that strong,
In
right?
Paul's case, when you look at Paul's matches, just remember you were there when Paul pulled Rustam Babayev in Orlando. Yes, Rustam won, but you giving that match to Rustam, so it's not surprise that you beat in Samushia. I mean, yes, Samushia in 85 kilo, incredible. But even then, Samushia didn't always win easy. He beat Sasho, Aydar Khan, some of other matches were close. So Rustam 95 kilo is for sure better than Samushia at 85 kilo.
And also Rustam at the time, I didn't know how good he was, and
He was the revenge match. He was the revenge match, and he was coming. He was coming. He won, and then he beat Sandris convincingly some months later.
After Rustam beat Sandris, then I really saw it. Okay, that's the Rustam we have seen in the past.
Yeah.
But before that, I wasn't sure. I didn't know. He might have.
Listen. Before Paul Linn match, he lost to Iraqi. It was 3-2. Iraqi was the champion. So Rustam never was away. Of course, Rustam maybe wasn't 100%, but he was at least 90%. You understand? So Rustam at 95 kilo is stronger than Samushia 85 kilo. Yeah. So you are saying that Paul was very impressive, and then he's gonna beat Arsen Kacharian. Yeah.
That's my guess. Yeah.
And what did you think about Arsen? Arsen can also pull in very different ways. The guy is very strong. Were you surprised when he beat Andrei Sharkevich or not?
I was surprised in the way he beat him, because at first Andrei did so well. I think at first he got the control, and then somehow I almost thought that okay, it's over, because Arsen even opened up fully in the King's move. Do you remember? So I thought okay, Arsen must be the winner, but then Andrei must be the winner, but then Arsen recovered. So I was surprised by that recovery, really surprised.
Am I correct in remembering that Arsen ended up forcing the hook? Is that how that match went? Was that the lane that worked for him against Andre?
In my memory, it was a bit messy. It was not a clear hook. Maybe the side pressure move, but
I've pulled Andre. So I when I was watching that match, I was thinking, man, Andre, he impressed me when I pulled him. I had him as the slight favorite in my eyes going to that. Arsen's not someone I've seen a huge amount of. I haven't watched the AMC stuff. I've heard of his victories over there, but I thought he handled Andre really well. Ultimately, in the end, his ability to adjust and his ability to end up looking dominant by the end of the match when you're losing first was impressive. But when I think of Paul Linn is. When we talk about genetics, I think Paul's one of those guys with a hugely explosive start combined with a great static rigidity, and he leaves you with no good options. When you grip Paul or when he loads all that pronation up in center, I can just see how arm wrestlers are panicked on, do they try to go inside or outside and past that wrist of his? Like it's a horrible thing. He's got both covered so well in a static sense, and I think that we're probably going to see Arsen unsure of which way to go, whether it's in or out. I think he'll try probably both, but I'm seeing flash pins Paul Linn with the form that he's in.
Yeah, Arsen needs to for sure put a break like very near to the center, and that's not the easy thing to do it, And pullers like Sasho, Rustam, and Rustam is one of the most explosive pullers. Even he ended up, in a losing, position in Orlando. And Auden, how do you see this match?
I see complete domination from Paul Linn. I think there is no way there is anything other than total control from start to finish. everything lines up perfect for him. He's in incredible shape right now. I think his form is probably the best he's ever been. And he's in America. It's going to be crazy. He's our golden boy. So the crowd is going to be electric. We're all going to be cheering for him. It's going to be lining up for him to just 1, 2, 3. I think dominant. It'll be good. It'll be a good fight. But I think Paul is just going to rill him.
Tarius says that I train now. What is the best for short arms technique? Here, Goat is here. Even though he has long arms, but for his weight.
Take a look at Nugo Chikadze if you want to. I think Nugo Chikadze is my new favorite arm wrestler after what he did with Matt Mask, and I think his example of how to short arm wrestle was perfect. He put it on a demonstration of how to top roll. He put on a demonstration of how to set an explosive hook. Knuckles up, strength. Get your forearm vertical. Take control of that. The fact that you can get your knuckles high, and then if your opponent overcommits with depth, then slam sideways and supinate and press. And if they try to dump and run, stay high and top roll and keep that pronation of your opponent down. Nugo Chikadze is your best example.
But you see, these shorter arms are still normally struggling with the top roll technique, right? It's normally a little bit not the most efficient way to pull.
So short arms you are saying that is not good for top roll.
We have exceptions like Nugo, but I would say that generally, normally, I would recommend some kind of inside move.
Yeah. Mindaugas, if you are gonna seriously answer, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Like, do you consider my hand arm, like short or normal or normal? Huh? Yeah. Okay. I mean, for when I was competing in lighter weight categories, they were long. Whenever I come to the, like 75 and over, like 75 is still okay. Whenever it's 85 kilo, it's not. It's kind of short. Yeah.
Suddenly you're short. So it depends on the weight class. You're right.
Yeah, I think you have long liver, right? No, this is how I
don't think. I don't
think weight
yeah. Maybe, but again, I'm just kind of skinny, so automatically the frame becomes bigger for my weight class, and that's why I'm long. But if I compare myself to
180,
even less than that, 179, 8, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, if I compare myself to someone my height, I'm not sure if my arm is really that long. I think.
Okay. And I will ask you a question, and that is like $1 million question. $1 million question. And I will say in a foul language, who is the fucking guy in 77 kilo? Of course, now is Artur Makarov, but like everyone is beating. Like, do you think that Artur now is maybe in a different level than the time that he had those matches against like Alan Zolev and other guys, or do you think they have his number? That's why they are. Do you think that if now Cherkasov would come, do you think that you would beat him again, or you think it looks different right now, or just say honestly?
My really honest opinion, I think if Daniel Cherkasov or what is it, Alan Zoloev. So Daniel Cherkasov and Alan Zoloev, all three of these guys, I think the next time they fight Makarov, they beat him. Because
who's beating Makarov next time?
All three of them. So
really? Wow.
Zoloev, I'm sure he still has his number because
Zoloev will beat him, Cherkasov will beat him, and Daniel will beat him. You say?
Yes. Because
come on, man. Listen. Cherkasov, if you say Cherkasov and Zoloev, because they have beaten him, last time, and I would say like but whenever the guy just beat Daniel, like how many weeks ago? Like 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Then whenever you said next time he's gonna beat, don't you think is a bit disrespect to Artur Makarov?
I know it sounds like that, but it's really not like that. I'm just kind of judging based on the techniques mostly, because I know that Alan Zoloev, he really fights Makarov correctly. You need to have that inside strength, and you need to be a bit patient all the way forward on the pad, block. Don't allow Makarov to have enough space. If you give him space on the pad, he'll really drag and open you. So
but you are basically saying that Daniel is the only one that learned some lesson from that match, while Arthur is just like he can't improve. Listen, Arthur and
that's just my opinion.
you and Arthur pull in 2018, and you beat him one match there. And since then, you have been pulling all over the world, while Arthur has been mostly inactive because they are banned from events. And we all thought that you improved probably that way, that much, and he improved this much, and then he came and beat you 4-0. So don't underestimate the guy.
No. So I would never really underestimate him. Whoever beats him for sure still has to be in his peak shape and gets lucky, and everything has to go correctly. So Markauer is just that good. Of course, he's a champ. But I'm just saying that I think Daniel would probably adjust when he pulls him next time, and I think he would go more forward and just be more patient. And then Cherkasov, all three of these guys have the ability to. I think I'm struggling the most because I may not have that ability yet to really meet him in the center and be like brave, and so I have to go the hard way.
Yeah. Okay. One guy says that you wanted an honest opinion from him. Just because he tells the honest opinion, it doesn't mean that I will not disagree with him. We are just friends. He tells me, and I tell him. Like, I'm not here to say, "Oh yes,"
and of course we should never
you're right,
disrespect the champ.
Yeah. Anyway, so and Auden, who do you think is the best lightweight? Like, just because he beat Daniel. Listen, he beat 80 kilo current world champion Ömer, and then he beat Mindaugas, and he beat Daniel. I mean, it is hard to discredit the guy, And
It's very hard.
But we cannot say that there is no one left.
Well, I think it's Mindaugas. I think Mindaugas is the guy. I mean, who can beat him, right?
There we go.
Hey, when are you gonna run it back? When are you gonna get the rematch? You think you can do it?
I think I can do it. I'm just waiting for Engin to say yes. Let's go again.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, first of all, people are asking me about Cherkasov. For Cherkasov, guys, it has nothing to do with us. And my honest opinion, it's not Cherkasov's fault, but there is a WADA list, and the WADA list, like, it is for the events who are doing tests. So when you go there, those events, you need to make sure that you don't have any prohibited substance. So when he competed the Russian nationals, they did the test, and he tested positive. So it has nothing to do with us. We can't, because he's banned. He competed that event. Some people says, do you have tests in your event? No, we don't have it, but people knows it. But when you go to the Russian nationals, when you go to WAF, you know that there's a test. You need to play the rules according to the rules. So, but Cherkasov, in my opinion, do you know the medicine that tested him positive? It is a vertigo medicine. You know vertigo? Those crystals, behind your ear, that when they just move, you lose the balance. The guy used vertigo medicine. I understand. I mean, I'm not arguing with WADA or something, but if you are doing like a shooting or something, maybe it is helping. I don't know how it helps, concentration. I have used vertigo medicine 2 times. When I get up from the bed so quickly, I thought it was like earthquake. Like I just couldn't balance myself because those crystals move. And I use the vertigo medicine as well. I don't even know how it is helping you. I mean, if anyone wants to go to a competition, like by using something and cheat in that event, tested event, vertigo medicine would probably be the last thing that you would consider, You would go there with something else, So anyway, so the guy
really seemed like Oleg's situation was a bit unfortunate. Like I think he was using that medicine and he just didn't notice that suddenly they put it on the list.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Oleg Cherkasov used vertigo medicine and he got banned for 3 years. So this is till next year. I cannot invite him, but he knows it. I even tried, when the RUSADA, Russian anti-doping agency, was considering, but WAF said that it needs to come from WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency. And then since that's not possibility, I told Cherkasov, I said, Cherkasov, you are in my book is a legend. You are a legend. And I would love to have you. I mean, we are like brothers in arms, but unfortunately, I can't. And I know that in my book, you are not guilty, But Alan Zolev, I think that but I don't think do you think Alan Zolev can make
Might not be able to make it anymore, maybe, I don't know.
But he made 75 for some time, and he competed the Russian nationals at 80. So since the category is 77, it looks possible.
Okay, most likely he can still make it.
Yeah, you versus Alan Zolev would be good.
Would be interesting. Yeah. That would be. In my mind, it could be an easier match for me instead of Makarov, to be honest, because again, I have played.
Do you know why? Because Arthur is applying a lot of side pressure with the downside of his hand, while Alan Zolev is arm wrestling with his wrist alone. You don't have the crushing side pressure when you pull Alan.
And maybe Makarov just has more wrist strength. Yeah, I remember still when I was fighting him, round 1, I grip up with him, and I noticed that his wrist is literally like this thick, like double mine. And I'm thinking, well, what am I supposed to open here? So yeah,
I can show you.
I can show you.
Sorry, but just you're doing so good assist. You understand? I need to score it.
Always Engin.
Always. Okay, Houdini Sports. Engin, can we get a Tatachins versus Nugoshikadze match? Who do you guys think would win? I think it would be an amazing match. Amazing match. And yeah, there needs to be it needs to be set at some point. But listen, like Tatachins is, I can tell you, one of the bravest guy. Right from the beginning, I started working with him. Like I asked him, first time I offered him a match, do you want to pull Zarano or Ivan Matushenko? He says, who is stronger? I said, probably Zarano because he is now heavier. He said, okay, set me that guy. So he never he would probably say no to Levan Saginashvili, but other than Levan Saginashvili, I think that he would say yes to other matches. But the guy is now in 95, 105. I asked him, he pulls. He says, you are the boss. Just tell me who I'm pulling, and I'm pulling. That guy is easiest guy to work with. Easiest guy. Mindaugas, can I set you Arthur? Oh, no. Can I'm joking.
Oh, wow.
Just joking. I'm sure everyone knows that I'm joking. Okay, let's go. We went to Paul versus Arsen Kacharian. And today, I did an announcement in the replacement match for Alex Kurdecha. It is because Jerry has some private reasons. And so Morozov versus Alex Kurdecha. Let's start with Ryan.
Yeah, interesting matchup. I see they're both very large humans. Auden Morozov in the flesh is always impressive when you see him. No doubt can match up against Kurdecha. For me, Morozov is a very muscular-driven arm wrestler. And what I mean by that being compared to that of a joint-based arm wrestler, I see him with a wrist flexion, bicep strength sort of emphasis. Alex Kurdecha likes to use his levers, likes to really dig down on that elbow and pronate hard using the length of his forearm and the joints. I think that it likely is a match that's going to have magnificent shape to it. It can go everywhere. Alex can pop his wrist. Morozov can scoop it into a defensive hook and go from there. We can see King's moves. We can see flop presses. This is a match where the shape of it really has a lot of options. Goes a long way. On the right hand, I think that my gut feel leans towards Auden Morozov. He's just got that density about him that just seems like his power level's a little higher. But I think that if it's going to go Kurdecha's way, it's because of good positional play and the right decisions at the right time. I feel like it almost could be the match could come down to Alex Kurdecha's decision making. If he makes a perfect tactical decision the whole round, I think he can win the match. But if he makes an error, I think Morozov is the stronger human if it gets arm on arm, and Morozov will be able to really put a lot of damage into Kurdecha's chain if it gets there. So if Kurdecha can execute perfectly, I think he can do it. But I think Morozov's the favorite.
Okay, Auden, before that, I will ask you another question and then this question. Auden, Neil Pickup just wrote 100 gorillas versus one pissed off Mindaugas Tarasaitis.
Oh, Mindaugas easy. Mindaugas, no problem. Yeah, all day.
All day, every day. Yeah, let's go, Auden.
Yeah, but this match, I am very excited about this match. I'm totally tossed up. I'm not sure at all who's going to win it. Like they're both incredibly strong. They both have better endurance than you'd expect. Artem's endurance is crazy, and I always thought Alex Kurdecha's endurance was not that good. But we saw when he pulled left how he stayed with Artem and was able to keep fighting after losing rounds. Even
Can I cut you for 1 second?
continue.
The Morozov that you saw during the Kurdecha match and Morozov's shape like that you saw against Larratt. You remember that Morozov had some stomach issues, like he was gonna pull against Levan and other things. Do you think that Morozov got so much bigger and stronger since the Kurdecha match?
I think he's way bigger and stronger. Way bigger and stronger. And an interesting thing to me is I was watching very closely the Battaglia prep for when he was pulling Michael Todd. And when Artem was pulling Battaglia, Artem has a king's move. I didn't know this about Artem, but he can go there if needed. So, and he's looking incredible right now. I am thinking slight edge towards Artem, but I'm very, very excited about this match.
And Mindaugas?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why Auden mentioned the king's move.
It's the best move. It's the best move in Artem.
Option. That's what doesn't really do anything. So I wasn't sure about that. But yeah, was Morozov already? I thought he was already recovered when he was fighting Kurdecha on.
Just look at the photos and videos. You will see the.
Okay, so if he says he's different, then
yeah, he probably right now is about 10 kilo heavier.
Okay, so Morozov being heavier plus it's the right arm. He already beat Alex on the left while not feeling that great, let's say. And
I think with the right arm, Alex is better with top roll, with left arm, with the wrist and side pressure. I think he's more confident, about. But the right arm is a top roll specialist. But yeah, go ahead.
Alex is left-handed, right? His left was always.
I mean, he says that his left arm is stronger than his right arm, but yeah, I think.
So it kind of looks like Morozov should probably take it.
I don't know if Morozov's right arm is better than his left.
That's going to be his second match on the same day, so that's also a big factor.
Yeah, I will give him very near 2 hours, Alex. Alex, before he accepted match, he said he wants to train right and left, and he said that there is a method to understand how quick you recover or something. And he tried that, and then he said, Engin, yeah, I need this much of time in between the matches. He said that for me, Devon match is more important, and I want to pull him. You can't really force him. If it was a main event, then yes, but main event we have the Levan versus Hermes match, so we couldn't move this match from the main event if it was the main event. So you are saying that
sometimes taking too much time in between those two different matches is maybe also not a good idea.
Okay, how can we make you happy?
No, I mean when I was fighting Hunter after struggling with Yanis, I was almost happy that it didn't take that long. Just I think one match in between, something like that. And of course, maybe my kind of recovery, maybe I would get cold if I had to wait longer. But maybe for Alex, I don't know, it might be different. Maybe he needs those 2 hours. It just almost seems like it may be a danger to just cool down fully.
I think if Kurdecha beats Devon, I think he'll get smashed by Morozov. If he loses to Devon, I think he'll do really well against Morozov. The adrenaline dump or the euphoria of a big victory is one of the most devastating things for a follow-up match I've noticed. So if he has a really good result against Devon, I think Morozov will walk all over him because his excitement, everything, the hormonal dump will happen of him just celebrating a massive moment against Devon, and then there won't be anything left. Where if he loses to Devon, he'll still have that fire and the grit, and he'll be like, come on, I gotta get at least one win tonight.
Sorry. Devon's style almost drains the energy out of you. Devon is not smashing people to the side, so he will always really take everything you have. So it's almost when you lose to him, it's still difficult to.
Morozov first year, like East versus West, 2, 3, 4, and 5, he took right and left matches in all those 4 events, except Prudnik, right arm, he won all the other 7 matches. He had 8 matches in 4 events, and he won 7 of them. He didn't have easy matches. You know, he had some.
Do you remember how much time did he normally take in between the matches?
Yeah, I mean, usually I put at least like 3-4 matches, you know, in between. Like, yeah. I mean, I think that if the guy is pulling 2 matches, I think we need to really ask him, you know, how much time do you need? You know, we can't really force him, you know, for anything. But we cannot really put Devon versus Alex match like a starter match either. You know, like it needs to be a little bit, you know, after health. You know, you can't really, you understand? It's an important matchup. You know, Alex versus Devon match. So okay, let's go to some other matches as well. Michael Todd versus Zarano. Let's start with Auden this time.
I'm a huge Michael fan, really. Every time I always say Michael's going to win, and this one's no different. I think stylistically, I have not seen Zarano flop, and I don't think he can keep his hand against Michael. I think keeping your hand against Michael in this form is really hard to do. He's just got such incredible pronation, and he's got that really hard sticking point where you kind of have to flop through, and it seems to be really hard to do. So I know Zarano can cut in super hard, but can he cut him without his wrist? We're going to find out. I don't think he can. I think Michael's going to bleed him. He might get round one. But
Yeah,
I think
the interesting part is that 2 of the best top rollers in the world, Hermes and Larratt, they had to end up with flop press against Michael, you know.
exactly.
They couldn't really like take, you know, everything. So it just shows that Michael is in a great shape. But I understand Hermes arm wrestle perfectly. The way he beat Michael like can be a lesson in arm wrestling school and show you know how to beat that guy.
Answer.
And the way that Larratt beat him, I shared this before. I don't know if you guys saw or not, but like normally when Michael goes far, he has a resting point. You know, like there is somewhere that he goes too far for you to apply pressure. You know, but he didn't have that comfortable spot because Vitali was able to reach everywhere, you know, like everywhere. Even if Michael would go outside, probably Vitali would still reach there, you know. I know I'm extreming, but and the second thing is that when Michael is like this, he usually, you know, climbs. But when you have a grip of the strongest hand in the world, about grip power, I mean, you can't do anything, you know. And then Michael was even losing his riser while waiting there. And whenever I asked Michael, like, why did you try to slip or go with a shoulder press? You were even able to go strap with outside movement. He said he didn't want to go there in strap. So he wanted to do something outside of step. He didn't like what he felt there, you know. But I'm telling you, like, those could be like very bad matchups, and we all learned something. I didn't know that Vitali could do such thing. But Michael, whenever you want a title match, you really need to beat at least one of these guys. So he had to pull these guys, yeah. So you are saying that this Zarano is gonna get exhausted, and then Michael is gonna win. But do you expect it to be easy match or very big battle?
Hard, long match. I just think it's so hard to pin Michael. And if Zarano, he doesn't have the long arm like Vitali, and I don't know how well he can climb up. And those are the kind of 2 only answers we've seen that are able to deal with Michael. Straight pressing through, we saw Camille try, and he couldn't do it. And he's got one of the best flop press. So I predict it's not going to work out. It's going to get real close, and there might be some like cheeky fouls, but I just think he's going to gas him out eventually.
What kind of fouls?
Like it's going to get real close. Maybe either Michael comes off the back to get the restart, or Zarano comes forward to start again. There's going to be like a bunch of fouls.
But you don't expect a win. You don't expect a...
I do not. No, I don't expect the pin from Zarano. I don't.
Mm-hmm. And Mindaugas?
No, so yeah, Michael, of course, all respect to Michael. But to me, it almost seems like for all these bigger heavyweights, Michael is becoming like a test. Can you flop wrist press? Yeah. You know, if you cannot, you lose. Like if you can, you have a chance. Which is a nice test for everyone to have. I'm sure, you know, everyone is forced to improve their techniques and be versatile. So we will see, can Zarano flop wrist press or not?
Yeah, my opinion is like the Zarano horsepower probably stronger than Vitali. But whenever he pulled Vitali, he didn't have any chance to access, his power, but now I think that yes, Michael is very strong and his technique will be probably very bad to this, I don't know, as it has been to anyone else, but I think that this Zarano will also have chance. He won't get flash pin by Michael, and I think there will be a dog war. And Ryan?
Yeah, Zarano's one of the most impressive specimens I've ever stood next to. Yeah, he seems like he's built of granite. So his raw strength, I think, is above Michael's, but Michael's positional play is problematic for everyone. I don't think there's anyone in the world, with the exception of perhaps Levan, that can just control Michael to the pad right now. I think he's probably the only one. Zaranov's built like someone who will attempt that. I think he'll try to keep his wrist. I think he'll try to surge sideways and contain, but I don't think he'll get through. And I want to see more people try to play a really patient game against Michael. Michael makes you get desperate and makes you want to flop press. But as you said, Hermes put on a great display of patience where you go back to center, you relax, and you say to Michael, you do something. What are you going to do to pin me? Because I think Michael's the world's best defensive puller when it comes to that last third of the table. But if you've won a little bit of hand control against him and you just retreat to your own defensive side, it's very difficult to see how Michael pins Zarano if Zarano's still got some fuel. So I think that if Zarano plays a very patient game like Hermes, then he can get the victory because Michael will use up a lot of fuel in the defense and struggle to pin someone with as much muscularity as Zarano if Zarano didn't panic and just go all out flop press. If he panics and goes all out flop press, I don't see him getting through Michael. So it's up to how he plays his cards.
Do you guys think that you said something which I agree that Levan looks like is the only guy that can flash pin Michael? But do you guys think that there is some possibility that even Levan may need this, in some of the rounds?
Yeah, it's a possibility.
The easiest way to do it.
Yeah. Anyway, so okay, so where are we now?
Just one more thing. I think Ryan just had a very good point, but I'm also thinking that not many people, especially big people like Zarano, normally I think they are also panicking if they have to stay statically in the center. They know that they are gassing themselves as well. But yeah, if you have the ability to stay a bit more defensively, suddenly it becomes so much easier to.
Yeah, it is also very, very, very hard thing to bring that arm to the pad. This is what I'm saying, until he gasses out. Like if you are not like Levan or Vitali or something, with those flash pins. Okay, this guy is asking a question, Auden. Lone Ranger, he says, ask Auden about water fasting. Are you right now water fasting?
No. Well, I did a 3-day water fast. Yeah, it was nice. It was really good.
Okay, how did you feel?
I think it's the best.
What did you feel like? What is the difference? Did you feel? Did you do 3 days?
3, yeah. So I did 3 days only water. I think it's great for you. I think it's the better way to cut. I think it's super healthy every once in a while, and you feel great. Day 1's kind of hard, but the rest is just easy. To me,
I plan to do this.
What's that?
I plan to do this.
It's very good. It's very, very good.
They said it's for health is very good. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, one guy is asking, Engin, when will you return in arm wrestling? According to Mindaugas, never. According to me, possibly end of this year. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
What weight category? What weight category?
In short term, 85. Long term, who knows? If someone doesn't run away, I may go down to 77 eventually. But
I'm sure Engin wants to come back, but his power is the problem. It doesn't really.
Listen, Mindaugas, I will tell you something you will not believe. Like last a few years, I didn't train. I felt like I'm collapsing. Like I'm finished. I said it will never happen. And then last 1.5 months, I'm training. Everything is coming back, and joints like feel better. I don't know why. It's because rested long time. But trust me, like the best I have ever done, 115 kilo, of course, double cable, the pronation. Only like how many days ago? 5 days ago or 6 days ago, I did hundreds. So I'm like, wow, you know. But the bigger muscle groups like bicep, chest, you know, like they are coming a little bit behind. It's coming behind. But the forearm things, you know, seriously, it's coming. I'm telling you. I don't know if it's gonna take 3 months or 4 months.
You know, I'm sure that Johan's got a lot healthier after you gave them a long break.
Yeah.
Also be a little bit careful. Maybe it feels good now, but if you push too much again, you might.
I go slowly, even if I can. Like I will tell you something. For example, the reverse curl. But when I do this curl, I do very strict. Like when somebody curls, they go like, you know, like this. Like whenever I do it, I go like this, like full motion, just forearm moves. Now you know me. You know how I do. And like I have now last training, I did 10% more than I have ever done. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, but bicep is behind, but the reverse curl, I don't know. It was just like more than, I don't know how that happened. But the size is coming very slow. Like, I mean, I have seen 43 centim bicep. Now it's like 38.5. It's coming, but slowly.
That's my size now.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, that's small.
Yeah.
It's not good. Not good.
Yeah. I know. Anyway, so let's go to Wagner Bortalato versus Manuel Battaglia. Battaglia, I don't know how he's called his name, but Battaglia.
I think Battaglia kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And people may not know about Manuel. Manuel is WAF World Champion with left arm. He has won WAF Worlds. And his opponent is Wagner Bortalato, who is coming back from the bicep tear. And let's go, Ryan.
Yeah, this gentleman I had to look up because I was one of the guys who didn't know him well off the top of my head. And as soon as I started looking him up, I'm like, oh, okay, he's got a left arm victory on Dimitri Trubin when Dimitri Trubin was still around, and that looked incredibly impressive. And then more recently, I saw him up against Reno Masic, and he lost to Reno, but his hand control was impressive, and he was taking Reno's wrist, really forcing Reno to have to get a really fast start in order to get control on him. So Manuel looks like a monster to me, very impressive, and I was surprised that I personally hadn't heard the name before as much as this guy looks like he deserves. So I'm happy to see him on this stage. And Wagner, one of the long stayers in this arena, we know left is an impressive arm. He's got that flop press victory on Devon that everyone always likes to put in highlight reels. So we know that he can bring it out. When it comes to energy and intensity, Wagner's hard to beat. So this is a big match, powerful match. I think that from what I'm seeing, Manuel probably has the edge in hand control. Wagner, we know he's classically can go frame on frame with almost anyone. He made Michael Todd's arm blow up back in the day on Arm Wars. So Wagner's one of those guys that you can't write off. He's been around, and when you look at Wagner's training, he's the most frantic trainer in the world. The way he throws around things, some of his highlight reels with lat pull down machines bouncing around in the gym. He's an excitement machine. So I think it's a great match. I have no idea who wins it. I see Manuel taking hand control, Wagner with a press. It could go either way.
And Auden?
I'm a huge Wagner fan. Huge Wagner fan. Anytime he gets on the stage, I always get very excited. I think Wagner was going through a couple, like a year or so, where he was really banged up and kept taking matches, and his injuries kept getting worse and worse. So I'm glad he's taken some time and seems to have gotten healthy, seems to have recovered. I'm excited to see him back on the main stage. I think stylistically, yeah, Ryan was saying, the hand is probably going to get lost from Wagner, but I think he can likely continue through. He's very famous for having an awesome explosive inside frame power. And I gotta go with Wagner. I'm just such a huge fan of his. I think he's the guy to win it.
Can I ask you something, Auden?
Yeah.
How much role does it play, you to be a fan of a guy when you do the prediction? How much do you involve your feelings? How much do you go by pure arm wrestling analyzing?
I am terrible. I'm so emotional when it comes to arm wrestling. I think the last I was 2 for 11 on my predictions. So I am like the worst at it. And every time I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna win for sure. And then I think about it afterwards, and I'm like, why did I think the guy was win? Why did I think that for a second? I'm just a fan of that guy. So I know I'm very emotional when it comes to predictions, but I just know that's who I am. So I can't really stop myself.
No, I'm just asking. Of course, we all are how we are. You don't have to. I mean, be as people expect you to or want you to be. So it's good. I just wanted to know how it is. And
definitely very emotional. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing bad about it. Yeah. And you, Mindaugas?
Yeah, so Ryan was saying that Emmanuel is maybe not so well known worldwide, but I think here in Europe we really know him very well.
Yeah.
He was just slowly climbing, always getting better. So yeah, I know Emmanuel is very good, and then he's a top roller. Wagner again was struggling for quite a few years somehow. I'm not sure if it was injuries or what was it, but
injury, yeah.
If he didn't fix that, then I would maybe give some advantage to Emmanuel. But let's say he fixed that, so it kind of looks like a very even matchup. So I guess in that case, you kind of have to look at techniques. Wagner's press might be dangerous for Emmanuel. Stylistically, I have to give some advantage to Wagner. So final decision, maybe Wagner 55%, something like that.
I mean, I kind of see Manuel is taking the risk, but how good Wagner is, if his hand is taken, I know he can still press that way, but we will see. We will see. Yeah. And there is one guy he says, what did he say here? Only Engin can beat Samushia. It is written in destiny. Come back, Engin. I don't think so. Today I said another world title match for Samushia in 85 kilo, which I will not announce. And he said, this is his 11th world title match. So if he wins 11, he needs to win the 12th one to get his 4 belts. And I don't think anyone will ever do such thing again, like winning 4 belts in same category. And if Devon stays around 105 or 50, but super heavyweight, when Levan is there, Levan can do as well, but Levan only pulls twice a year, so it will take a while. He needs to be very healthy for some years. And after I said, like, you accept the match? He said yes. And he said, is the next you? I said, no, you are too strong for me, And of course, this is what my mouth says, and I really believe what I say, but who knows what future brings, Yeah.
I think at the end, Ryan Bowen will beat Samushia.
I agree.
Listen. Mindaugas, like, as soon as we start the program, I don't mess with him. I ask their weight, and then Auden says about 105, and then Ryan said, yeah, we're almost the same weight, and then Auden said, oh, I thought you were 86. And now you came, and now you kind of probably implied a similar thing. Just leave the guy alone,
No, I think it's legit. Ryan probably has as high of a chance as Auden winning 4 belts in some weight class, So it's
sure.
It's very realistic.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'd love to pull him someday, but I don't know if I'll ever get the chance. But I love the feel.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the guy is like for 85 kilo. I mean, incredible. Yeah. Okay, so let's go. This match also, like, I don't know, maybe like we know Joseph Maranto, and he pulled 2 matches. One was in Atlantic City, and the other one was in Arlington, and he did very well. And now we set him against Ivan Portella. Like, you pull him, Mindaugas. I remember in Zlotiter. Yeah.
He looks a bit different now in the picture, but yeah, I think I have pulled him in the past.
Yeah. He was. Yeah. He is like, listen. He started like 55 kilo world title. I don't know. Probably he won 60. They say he won 10 world titles. Maybe some of them are masters, but many of them are senior. He has incredible forearm. Even when he was 55 kilo, like he is a legend. In our sport that people don't know. Whenever I said this match, people goes like, "Who the hell is this guy?" He may not be, like very best at today's arm wrestling, but that is one of the top guys that I could bring to North America because of the visa issues. And I think Maranto is very, very good, but he may not be at the very best 70 kilo, not yet, but maybe in the future. But that is slowly going there. And you start with that.
So it was the 70 kilo match then?
70 kilo, yeah.
Okay. No, I think Maranto is too good. I don't expect the Spanish guy to bring the shape which he once had. I think Maranto.
But where do you think the Maranto is? Like you say this, but do you mean like Maranto is right now head to head with the Alex Zavrashvili or some other European or Kazakh or Russian monsters?
I guess we have to find out. It's still not clear, but his performance in where was it? The last USA?
Yeah,
beat Cody Wood.
Cody Wood, yeah. But there was another North American puller, so we don't exactly know where he is at. Because I don't exactly know where Cody Wood. Cody Wood,
right.
Though he beat Matthias.
He beat Matthias Schill.
Yeah, Matthias, he beat him, and Matthias is not bad, Go ahead.
I gripped Cody Wood in the back after the matches.
Yeah.
So I felt his level, and then I had a good one with Maranto. So I'm like, okay, I got a feeling of that level. But I always find that when a new guy arrives, he usually takes a real bad loss to a veteran, and then he has to go back and recognize, okay, I need to change this, and this. There's something about being a veteran of the sport where your joints and your joint conditioning just goes to a level that is different. And I think that Maranto is going to run into that without knowing Ivan Portella's true level. Yeah, I looked up his stats. It said 9 times WAF, 8 times European, 27 times Spanish champion. And it even Engin, to reflect what you said about him being a legend. AI summed him up and said people compare him to John Brzenk. So I was like, wow, okay, so his achievements are really, really good.
Yeah, but he's not at where he used to be. Like right now, he doesn't even compete senior category. He competes masters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what style of puller is he again? What style of puller is
Portella? That's why I said that, man. They will just go both inside. Okay. That is what I am expecting, unless they show me something new.
So for me then, I would expect Joseph Maranto. Like I often see it in you guys that they have a stronger 1RM in a muscular sense than older guys, but then it gets to the joints, and the joints of the older guy make the difference. And case in point, someone like Todd Hutchins won't have the same 1RMs as Iraqi, and yet we see how matches balance out. I'm such a big. I value so highly joint conditioning. If you've been pulling 20 plus years, it seems to me like that's a huge factor. So my gut feel is Portella will win this match.
Did you know that Joseph is training partner of John Brzenk?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't. That's pretty cool.
So that makes some difference because you learn a lot. You understand? You learn a lot. And Auden?
Yes.
I tend to agree with everything Ryan said. The only thing that I would say different is I know Joseph has really, really good bicep endurance. And if they get in a hook and if that match stops, while the joint conditioning may not be the same because Joseph is a whole lot newer, I think if at all he can get on the biceps and it's just an endurance battle, I have not seen Joseph yet lose, and he out-endured Kevin Palco, he out-endured Cody Wood, and these guys have really good endurance.
Yes.
I'm always very impressed with Joseph, just how he trains, how he goes with arm wrestling. I think if the match stops, if they get into a grinder, it's going to start swinging Joseph's way.
Yeah, he is one of those guys that I really enjoy offering match because they get so excited. They're so happy. Like whenever I see that excitement in an arm wrestler, like I'm like, wow, like I really feel very good for those people because like I believe in dreams. I believe in goals. Like whenever the guy is getting so excited, it means that he wants to prove something. The guy needs to get the opportunity. By the way, like when I'm sitting like this, that my shoulder heads are making some shadow. Does it make you nervous, Mindaugas? No. Oh, okay, yeah. Because if it is, I test it like this, no problem.
You get traps coming out again. Engin, that's good.
Yeah. I like to mess with Mindaugas. I love that. That is like you can expect a huge trash talk if I'm pulling that guy. If I'm pulling Daniel Prokopchuk or Artur Makarov, I don't know. But with such a guy, we go back and forth. Of course, we don't cross the borders, but just he gets on my nerves like nobody gets. He says very calmly. He said he was gonna do that move to me in Istanbul. And I was like, I stressed out for like a few weeks. I was like, what if he does that in front of my people? Engin, you're gonna hit him like you never hit anybody. That never happens, So
to me, it's just more fun this way. It's really more fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that you have an unfinished business with me, and I know that a lot of people will support you against me, including Neil Pickup and some others that I don't want to mention. And so that whenever I pull against you, like I will be feeling like I'm also beating those people. So it's good, Yeah.
Engin, you will kill Mindaugas. You will kill him. I felt him. He's overrated. He's not that good.
Oh, you felt him?
Yeah, I helped him warm up for the Yanis match. Engin,
So
you will
nothing special. Nothing special.
Nothing. He's pretty good. He's okay. He's okay.
The pad a lot.
What did you say, Mindaugas?
He felt the pad. The pad was soft, so he felt good.
I did feel the pad a lot. I was a good warm-up partner. I let you pin me. I was like, okay, you can go. I'll allow it.
I was hoping you would give me something more, but they just never.
No, it never came.
Also, you are saying that he gave his all to you, and it still wasn't enough for you.
Oh, not right through me. Right through me.
Auden was trying to act like that he's maybe not giving everything, and maybe he was tired from before. But I know that he was really just giving.
How come you guys didn't pull after the event? Really?
After the event?
Just missed each other. I think. I don't know. I got in the after pull tables. I was there a lot, but
yeah, we already knew the result anyways.
Yeah. But you'll beat him. I mean, you'll beat him. I have no delusions.
If I pull him right now, we are 12-2. It will be, if you pull all 5 rounds, it will be 17-2. So don't worry about it.
Who is counting super match wins?
All the rounds.
Wins? Nobody's doing that. I can stop counting.
Listen, then even that way, I am 4-1 against you. Even that way, 4-1. So 12-2 is like 6 times. 4-1 is 4 times. So it's okay. Both are okay. I beat you Lithuanian Europeans. I beat you Zloty Tour. I beat you 2 different super matches, right and left. So you beat me 1 event. With I don't want to even mention how the things went.
You see, now you're happy about beating an uppercomer, new guy, and
uppercomer,
strong suddenly.
Uppercomer, you were like Zloty champion. You were like you beat 1 match Artur Makarov. You were head to head with him.
See, and now it's like, oh, wait a second.
No, now wait a second. You are the one he's telling me every time he sees me, even you are 95 kilo, come. And now he's saying, I say, listen, I can go 7-7, but I can go 85. He's telling me even if I'm 95, it's okay. Now I say I can go 85. He says, but you're gonna tell people that you are 85 kilo, right? I said, of course I will tell, but I thought it wasn't your concern. You would beat me when I'm 95. And now
I think we should just announce the match.
You expect me to tell people, hey, I am 85 kilo.
He sounds scared. He sounds scared, Engin. He sounds scared.
Yes, Auden, exactly, Auden.
I think let's announce the match today. Let's find the date. Let's make it happen.
No, until you go on social media, make a post. I told you, I wrote to you. You never did it. Ryan, I wrote him. I said, you were going to beat me even when I'm 95. Now 85, you are telling me, but you're going to tell people, right, that you are 85. And now I said, listen, listen, I know where it is going. I will beat you when I say I was 85 kilo. If you go on social media, say, Engin, I know you are like 90 something kilo, 92. Just go down 85 kilo. I will destroy you. And then I said, I will pull you. He never made
It was
that.
not really like that. It wasn't
He
it
never.
was not really
I
like
can show you. I can read the whole conversation if you want. Wait. If you are saying.
I think at this point I just understood that Engin will not really do it. He's not really coming back. So I'm like, okay, let's leave.
Come on! I told you. I told you what I said.
Mindaugas, that's a cowardly move.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I don't think Engin is coming back, guys.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks.
You
me,
sure?
No, the shadows look good. The shadows look good.
Anyway, so we will see. Yeah. Anyways, Mindaugas, don't do like this. You are not intimidating me at all. Just
look at the neck, jiu-jitsu neck.
Ooh.
You got that small head thing going when you get
head.
because you are the last person to intimidate someone with your physical look. So
dude, I should probably stop doing this poses, right?
Yeah, because you are more dangerous when you are, how you are, and then we think that he's trusting. Oh yeah, he's intelligent. His tendons are like still. And now whenever you do this, and then I'm like, okay, now he's trusting this, and it looks nothing. I mean, yeah.
So yeah, what should I do instead? When I enter a stage, what do I do? Do I just stand quietly or what?
You do.
With the textbook.
Listen,
with the textbook.
Listen, your physical look doesn't scare me, but your how to say? I mean, actually, nothing scares me. So let's go.
As something scares Engin. Okay, good. He just doesn't want to tell us.
No, I said nothing scared. I tried to find something to make you happy. I thought.
I'm sure there's something. You just didn't want to admit.
Yeah, you just wish. Okay, Matt versus Iraqi Zirakashvili. Okay, Matt Mask pulled 2 events in a row. He pulled in Arlington. He came to Istanbul. And then to give him another match with right arm is very unfair, while Iraqi last time pulled in beginning of the February. So, and Iraqi now he got the visa with left arm. He didn't pull for like 6 years, but I know he has been training. And Matt Mask, people underestimate Matt Mask. Matt Mask has given some hard time to Devon during their career. I have seen him even one time pinning Devon in one of the WL matches. So people are underestimating Matt, and some people say Matt is gonna kill Iraqi. So where do we start? We start from Ryan.
Yeah, interesting one. There's a great amount of heat between these two. Coming off the back of the Nugo Chikadze dominant victory, I saw Iraqi saying Matt Mask will never touch a Georgian again. We'll dominate him forever. And I think Matt's one of the best guys in the sport for taking a loss well. I love the way he took it. He can somehow swear at his opponents and still be highly entertaining. It never seems offensive from Matt Mask. And I love the tension that is now built between Matt Mask and all of Team Georgia. So I think this is a great match. It's almost like a sequel to the Nugo Chikadze match. So the fans are going to love this one. I think being in North America, it's going to be hometown for Matt Mask. He's going to have a lot of energy, and I don't know if Iraqli's ever been to the USA before. I don't think he has, but going into your opponent's home ground, no matter what the sport, it does make a difference. It really does. And Matt's a guy who will take that home ground crowd and run with it. His energy is going to be mega. I think Matt Mask is the favorite in this match because of that factor. I think stylistically, top roll is going to be great. Matt is the taller man. I think Matt will be more comfortable against Iraqi stylistically than he was Nugo. Nugo made his arm come down really low, where against Iraqi, it's going to be more in the sweet spot that he's used to sort of attacking. I think Matt Mask is the favorite. I think Iraqli's got a tough task here, and
the traveling factor. Iraqi has never traveled to that side of the world, while we saw Matt against Larratt in Orlando, and then we saw him in Arlington against Ongarbe. We saw him against Marcio Barboza in Atlantic City. Looks like when he's not traveling, he's just like a little bit,
I think Matt's going to run wild.
Yeah, I think I'm not saying Matt is gonna win, but I'm just saying that if people are
It's a big
thinking that,
factor.
even if it is right arm, Iraqi lost against Ongarbe while Matt beat Ongarbe. People said that Ongarbe wasn't ready. They said that we don't know that, but yeah, I think it is gonna be a very, very good match. And let's go with Auden.
Yeah,
Auden's gonna say I'm a huge fan of Matt.
exactly what I was going to say. Exactly. No, it's a really tough match. I think this one really comes down to just who can secure that high spot first. And, with the slightly shorter arm of Iraqi, if he ducks his thumb properly, there may be ways that he can just totally start with the rise. And I don't know if Matt is able to deal with that. We're going to find out. I think the edge has to go to Matt because he just does have a longer arm. And if the match at all slows down and the Iraqi setup's not perfect, that height's going to matter. So I have to lean towards Matt, but his left is not as right. Both guys, I don't think are as good left. But
no.
I'm a huge fan of Matt. I got to go Matt.
and Mindaugas.
Wait a second. Why did Auden just mention left? Is the match on the left?
His match is left.
I just explained this guy had 2 matches in a row in
Arlington,
and he's not even listening. Do you know where his mind is? His
I
mind
thought you were
is
saying
where I'm gonna to him.
I thought you were saying that it's not fair, but it's still the right hand match. Okay, so left-handed. Wait a second. That's different. That's very different.
What do you know about Matt Mask's left arm? What do you know about him?
As much as I know about Irakli's left arm. Not much.
Yeah, Matt has pinned Devon on left a couple of times in super matches. I think Devon won 3-2 or something in the super match. But back in WAL days, his left looked really good against Devon historically. Always close. Always close. That's what I know.
I think I'll assume that their left hands are maybe roughly as good as their right hands, let's say. In that case, I would maybe say that Matt Mask is such a physically impressive human being. You would really expect him to do very well. But in the past, he kind of had matches where he failed a little bit. So I was always somehow, I always didn't really give him the advantage anymore until he beat Ongarbayev. So since he beat Ongarbayev, I was thinking, wait a second, maybe Matt Mask is really good. But maybe it was a trap. Maybe I was tricked. Because maybe Ongarbayev was just not that good at the time. Because the way Nugo handled Matt, that looked like normal Matt in the old days.
Listen, the way that Nugo beat also some other guys, Nugo.
Right, Nugo
is not weak guy. He's strong, Like if we are gonna give the gauntlet to Devon because of the practice pool with Morozov, we had to give Devon's belt to Nugo for the practice pool in Istanbul as well. I'm just joking, but I'm just saying that like Nugo is really strong guy.
But yeah, what I was saying is that after the Ongarbayev match, I was starting to believe in Matt Mask a bit more, but now again, I don't believe in him. So I think
Iraqi
will take.
That's interesting. We will see. I think that like whenever I asked to Oğuzhan Koçak. I asked Oğuzhan Koçak how Tautiev would do against Nugo, because they both won last matches. He said that he will also have the same experience that Matt had because they both are very tall, and so he thinks that with such a short arm they will have a problem with the they can't really be like this, yeah. So. Okay, so we need to go with the main event for now, and then later we will talk again. Levan Saginashvili versus Hermes Gasparini. Hermes, we almost daily we talk. He says, Engin, I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna beat him. Yes. He says he's not bluffing. He really believes, And he believes that he's gonna beat him. He doesn't say that like he 100% will win or something, but he has a game plan, and he knows Levan. Levan also knows him. But I will tell you something. Hermes is the really golden boy of arm wrestling today. Like whenever I ask him or somebody asked which match he took to like biggest lesson, he said it was the Devon match, and since then he has been training, his hand. In the past when he was his hand was much more like dominant than his arm, and the more he gained weight, more he started to trust, his arm. And then whenever he met Devon, now he realized that no, like, this needs to come back. And since then, I can tell you, because he shares with me, like his front wrist, which you call riser, is like 30% stronger. And
Very.
will it be enough? Last time they pulled, there was 60 kilo between them, or 60, 65. This time, only 45 kilo. He will be around 129, 130. Levan said he will be 174. So we are talking about 45 kilo. Of course, still big difference. And yesterday I had Levan, my guest. He looked lean. When I say lean, I don't mean small, but he looked like no unnecessary weight on him. Okay, let's start this time with Auden.
It's so hard for me to vote against Levon just because of how dominant he's been in every match. Even the one with Hermes last time, I think he played a little bit too much. He had a couple rounds where he kind of would hold for a second and then pin, and I do not see him doing that this time. I think this time he's coming in focused, not going to play. I think he really got mad about those last 2 rounds that he had to kind of forfeit, and I think he's coming in to just murder and run all the way through. Hermes looks awesome. Hermes looks incredible, but it's so hard for me to pick anybody but Levon in any match. I mean, he's ranked #1 for a reason. He's beaten every rightful challenger.
Does it include your father next time?
Well, again, we'll see. But yeah, this one, Hermes has a chance. I think Hermes has a chance. What the chance is, maybe like a 40%, maybe like 60-40, Levon.
I think you are giving 40% to Hermes. Yeah. So you are not saying he's going to run over?
No, I really don't think so. I think because
he will try to run over. He will try to run over. He will try to run over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you think that the first few rounds he played, or because he couldn't control Hermes's pronator, so he took it here? And do you think that he tried to play, or?
There was one round I remember in particular where he gets him down easily and then looks at him and is like, and then finishes. And that one was definitely a play. Definitely a play. And like you were saying, though, with how Hermes has been training, I think since he pulled my dad, his hand and rise and all the hand stuff has leveled up. And if you watch the last match with Levon and Hermes, his hand got blown apart, but his arm kind of stayed in it. So if this one, his hand can stay a little bit more and he can just be kicked back a little bit less, I think we got a match.
Yeah.
I do still have Levon winning it, but I would not be super
if the match stops, as you say, you said that you still see Levon winning. So how the rest of the match will go that Levon will win in your vision? Visualize it. Yeah.
Levon doesn't get enough credit for how good of an arm wrestler he is. He is just so overwhelmingly strong that he never really has to adapt. But if you look back, he has, every once in a while, he's had some tough matches, and he's a very good arm wrestler. So I think towards the later rounds, I think the first couple rounds, Levon's going to go right through. But maybe if you can slow him down, round 3 and 4 might get a little bit of a stop. I think Levon will just readjust and work through him, though. I really do. I think while Hermes there is a chance he can do it, I think Levon he's too complete. He's everything. He's everything an arm wrestler needs to be.
Yeah, I feel the same about Hermes as well, about well-roundedness and table IQ. But there is a genetic difference, that his hand, wrist, is just different. I just do not know one thing about Levon, his hand as a block, incredible. But does he have that inner wrist here to control the pronator and pin, because if he cannot control here, where he will go, he will go out, and he will be missing the pronator. If he misses and he over pronates, then we may end up seeing something similar before. So that is the part that, you know, I don't know if he can really, like, we have seen Levan beating people like this, but it's usually when somebody is trying to go in, he just curses and beats them. But if somebody is trying to go outside, you remember one time, the one round against Larratt, he tried to go sideways, and then his hand went dead, his wrist was even going back. He rise up, and then we beat him that way. But so I'm not sure how strong his inner wrist will be. You know, I see this outside wrist to not to be bent back. He is there, like, very strong, but they curl into every millimeter to control the pronate, because you don't control here, you pull here. That is how I lost against Mindaugas at this longitude. I was very easy top row, but I couldn't really control here. So I ended up on my brachyradialis. It was almost like same as Hermes versus Levan first match. Do you agree, Mindaugas?
Well, I almost don't remember my match with you anymore. It was so long, such a long
Like,
time ago.
I top roll you, but I couldn't finish it because I couldn't control your pronators. So that is how it went. Anyway, so you are saying that 60-40, Levan is
60-41, yeah.
Do you want to add anything, or that's all?
I think I covered it. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay, and let's go with Ryan, and then with Mindaugas, and then I would like to talk about a bit about Devon versus Vitaly, and then we can finish the podcast here.
I've been sitting here thinking, listening and thinking, and I've given this match a lot of thought over the last few months, as we all have. And if it comes down to it, I think I'm going to say Hermes is going to win. I think Hermes will take it. And I think he'll take it on the back of the extraordinary wrist rise that he's somehow produced. If you didn't know these two guys, and you only were, if they'd never faced before, and you knew nothing of their legacy, you just knew they were both completely capable arm wrestlers technically, and the only thing you had to go off was the 180 kilo cheat curl that Levan's doing that shows his power, or the 67 kilo wrist rise that Hermes is doing, as well as the 52 kilo for 20 reps wrist rise. I think the wrist rise is more valuable than that enormous amount of bicep strength and brachyradial strength that Levan showed. And what I like about the Hermes, the 67 kilos is crazy. That, like, the next best we're seeing amongst elite arm wrestlers that has been publicly shared, at least, is only like 52 kilos. So somehow Hermes has managed to pull out wrist rise that is not just a little bit ahead of everyone, but a significant amount ahead of everyone. And I've always, in my understanding and the way I felt the sport, being dominant in wrist rise is the most rewarding strength to be dominant in. Opportunity opens up off the back of wrist rise more than the back of any other individual strength. And even though Levan, I believe, has a stronger chain from the base of his wrist through to his shoulder, I believe he's got a stronger chain there than Hermes. I think we haven't seen Levan put out a wrist rise equivalent because I don't think he can do it. And I think that Hermes, that's where his match is going to be won and lost. Now, when we talk about the power that Levan has in the first surge, yes, it's going to be big. It's going to be very big. But we know that Hermes, I think we've seen him stop Levan before, and I think we'll see something similar again. And that 50 kilo or 52 kilos for 20 reps that Hermes does shows me that he has immense endurance in his wrist rise as well. Not just a 1 times 67 kilo first surge, but he can sit there for a long time and defend. Even if his wrist cracks, I believe he's going to keep access to his pronation really well because of that wrist rise strength that he's got. I think Levan isn't as aerobically fit. He doesn't have the anaerobic sort of endurance that Hermes has genetically. I think Hermes has a better situation there. And I think that we are going to ultimately see rounds 1 and 2 look like the battle we saw last time, but this time Hermes is going to win it. And then Hermes is going to come home by taking Levan's wrist and be the first person to decisively pin him.
Wow, Ryan. Wow.
Okay.
What are you talking about? Wow, you said he's going to win with round 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, I think Hermes is going to win round 1.
Expecting a sweep from...
I think Hermes is going to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go. I've just given the delusional right.
Listen, my friend. Listen. Like nobody. Like I don't know anything. But the only thing is about Levon. Like Levon, we knew. You remember Levon versus Krasimir match?
Yes.
Levon tried to go out, and he got hooked, and then Krasi won. Krasi was 102 kilo.
Yes.
And at that time, we thought that like Levon hook, like 100 kilo guy beat him. Of course, Krasimir is not a regular 100 kilo, but you are pulling in super heavyweight. He was 102 kilo. He competed super heavyweight. So we thought that would never pass. And then I saw him at the Europeans. I think he was in Bulgaria. And then he went to inside with Gennady. And it was a long war. So Levon in hook, surprise, head-to-head with Gennady. And Levon in a minute-long match, which means endurance, and he ended up beating Gennady. So you would never think that would happen. It was like, wow, how is it possible, So what I'm just saying that Hermes is not the only one that learned something from the last match. Levon also learned something. So we may be surprised that, you said that, maybe this happened, that happened, but we may see something. The guy is very intelligent.
If I try to think about it,
go ahead.
If I try to think about what Levon would have learned from that last match, it perhaps would have been not to over top roll. Don't put yourself in a position where Hermes can get his shoulder behind and isolate the bicep. Perhaps stay taller for longer, only halfway top roll to the pad first, get control, then play for position and not allow Hermes into that. But the risk of doing that is that Hermes' wrist rise has a more opportunity to go A side and more opportunity to, like, if you stay at center too long. I've seen people, we've all seen arm wrestlers have a bit of control, almost smile at the opponent, but then stick around for just 2 or 3 seconds too long, and all of a sudden the balance of hand changes because there's something in the wrist rise all of a sudden starts to fade in you, even though you've got control. And I think there is the risk. Again, just that 67 kilo rise to me is such an anomaly that I feel like it's going to be enough of a factor that Hermes is going to take it. I respect Levon as a technician and as an experienced puller, that we haven't had to see him really think too much because he's been so strong. But I think Hermes is a better puller. Like, if we talk about technicalities, I think Hermes is better. He's come from that lighter weight category dominance where for 85 kilos, 95 kilos, we saw him be an absolute master technician. Mm-hmm. I think that all that still lives within him very much so, and I think he'll lead the dance. I think Hermes, if the battle becomes even physically, Hermes will lead the dance technically.
Do you guys realize that Levon is in the chat? Levon just wrote 6-0.
Okay. Hi, Levon, please don't hurt me.
Okay, I will ask you guys something. How do you pronounce C-I-R-E?
C-I-R-E. I'd say Sire.
Sire, yeah. Okay, then I don't want to disrespect anyone. Sire Brown Armwrestling. Thank you for super chat. Levon 6-0 Hermes. Hermes trained out his wrist weakness, which was beneficial against Levon. Okay, let me see if Levon wrote anything. Levon wrote something in Georgian, but I don't understand what he said.
I'm going to do a pre-match interview.
It's a different alphabet, but it sounds like, tell that red-haired guy. I'm trying to read. I'm joking.
I can't wait to do the pre-match interview in
Just joking.
Chicago.
Just
It's going to be
joking.
terrifying.
Yeah. Tell him. Yeah, I now tell him I will see him in Chicago. This is what he said.
Ryan is biased now.
Yeah, I don't know. Levon is riding.
I'm a dreamer when it comes to being a fan of the sport. I love to dream of the impossible becoming possible. And I see, look, for Levan's been at the top a long time. He's got to defend against not one guy, but a whole bunch of guys chasing him. That's a hard task, where Hermes has been obsessed with Levan since the last match. And it's an easier task to be chasing one guy than it is to defend against 4 or 5. So I think the story of just being a fan of sport, the story's there for Hermes to have a really incredible, glorious moment. And yeah, look, I love dominant champions too, but I don't know. I can feel it coming.
I want to see Hermes becoming a super heavyweight world champion at some point, but like I so much Levon and I so much love Hermes. I even in my heart, I mean, I told to Hermes today. I said, "Listen, I love you, but I love also Levon. Like honestly, I don't have any fair square match, and that's all I want." And Levon, one guy told to Levon takes a whole truck with a tank full of oxygen to Chicago, and Levon says, "I take all oxygen in Chicago." And he left, but he probably left probably to your, I'm guessing to your, okay, Levon says, "Ryan, give me Australian oxygen," he says.
It's very, very good, clear air down there.
Yeah, just bring it. Yeah, bring it. Yeah. Anyways, guys, so listen, we have been here for like 1 hour and 43 minutes. I want to ask you, Mindaugas, and finish. Devon versus Larratt in another program, because it is like gonna be past 2 hours. Like I can talk with you guys like 5 hours, but this guy over there has a kid and a family. He really needs to spend some time with the family as well. Yeah, let's go, Mindaugas.
No, so yeah, if anyone can beat Levon, seems like Hermes is the right guy at the moment. His preparation is going well, everything is going well, so I really want to see the match. I really want to see what happens. But just one funny thing I want to mention is that sometimes, let's say, if you improved your rest, let's say, and maybe it will not collapse as easily as it collapsed last time.
And then your arm opens.
Yeah, it might even look like you lost easier and faster because, when your wrist collapses, then suddenly Levon might have to change some things, maybe a bit of press to kind of finish that flop wrist. But if it doesn't collapse, if you kind of try to maintain it more, then maybe it just goes to the pad directly without any problems.
So you are saying that sometimes giving up here will protect your arm power.
Maybe you have to make that choice.
Yeah, that's what the case was when we go to elementary school. No, seriously. With the guy, you could try to he goes like this and you
right,
cannot
exactly. Yeah, it goes like that and you cannot pin.
So who's winning?
So I'm still saying Levon. You can never go against the champ.
You can never go against champ. You're talking about this specific category, or you're talking about 77 kilo as well?
No, we cannot. Levon will always be the favorite before he gets beaten. So.
Okay, Levon wrote another comment. He said, "Mindaugas, you're talking too much. Next match is I versus you." Ooh,
let's go.
Strongest ever versus the gods. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, okay, guys. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed, and I want to go together. If you want to join again, Mindaugas, you are more than welcome. But I would like to do, if they also want to continue, we want to do a weekly thing with Ryan and Auden, and yeah. Since you are the least knowledgeable here, so we can use it. We can use you. Only like time to time, Mindaugas, like when we can't find the fourth person.
At least knowledgeable, yeah. But I mean, I'm sure you will guys enjoy the podcast weekly. But maybe I'll jump in from time to time. But
yeah, always fun. Yeah. Thank you, Mindaugas. Thank you, Auden, and thank you, Ryan.
So much.
And thanks to everyone who has been watching us. You all take care. Yeah.
Thank you.
Show us your bicep, Mindaugas. I want to feel good. Okay, that's good. Hey, listen, by the way, the forearm is getting bigger.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how mine is looking, but I don't know.
Scary, Engin. That's looking scary.
No, it is really small. Like right now is, what is that? 37 centimeter. And warm, I have seen 40. My forearm somehow really changes when I train, like up to 3 centimeter if I do table. But this used to be 43 warm. So when it is 41, even 41, that will be enough for some skinny guy. But right now, no.
Skinny.
Yeah.